I'm ready.
Ready now. Okay. Yikes.
Wait, has anybody been hearing a lot of fireworks lately?
Every single night
These
at
South Jersey
midnight.
rednecks are getting on my last
Dude,
At
nerve.
midnight, 1 a.m.
Since Juneteenth, I don't think my neighbors have lit off not one firework. Like every single day since Juneteenth, I've heard a firework.
I think
And
I've
I
had
feel it,
fireworks every single day since it's been legal.
and July 4th just restarted the cycle.
My thing is after a while, doesn't it get boring? I mean, it just takes away from the specialness of a firework when everybody can do them, in my humble opinion.
Apparently not.
And July 4th, it was like we were in a war zone. There was so much smoke in the air.
It
I
sounded
was
like
like,
It sounded like World War II outside.
Yes, I was like, well, this is the collapse of democracy. They're not printing coins anymore. The demonic plagues out there trying to kill people now. Corona coming back up. So,
Hi.
What up?
might as well get used to the sound of war.
Oh, you haven't done your welcome to the lamb.
Aaron doesn't let me do it anymore, so I just
No, I mean Matt.
No,
Matt does that.
No, Darnell does it. Darnell does it, and then I have to like
mock him. Yeah.
Welcome to the lab.
welcome to the lab.
It just makes me so happy every time.
I really wanted all of you to join in with me. I thought that that's what we were doing, but I guess y'all don't read my mind, so it's all right.
Yeah, we had decided we didn't like that.
I wish they would set themselves on fire.
Oh my god.
What's up, everybody? What up, everybody?
What's good, Lamar?
All right.
But Mom, you should hear our neighbors. Like they're literally wilding. Like
hello, Lamar.
We'll go ahead and jump on.
Wait a minute. Usually I'm up to the right. I'm next to Aaron, and now it's weird.
She was in here last, probably. I don't know.
Usually I'm not usually on the top. Wow.
Come on in the room.
They have dreads for men, like a dread wig, like a lock wig.
I've seen that. All right, we're gonna get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lab Podcast, a podcast with four friends. My name is Aaron.
I'm Camille.
I am Say Their Name, Elijah McLean, and Brianna Taylor.
And I'm Matt.
What's good, everybody? How y'all been? Before we get started, what's up? What's new? What's new in life?
Can't complain.
I turned 27.
He's adorable.
Yes, happy birthday, Darnell.
My birthday was yesterday, peace.
Hi, JB.
Oh,
hey, JB is in the house.
Oh, what's up?
They said he almost set the house on fire last year. That's funny.
They sure did.
Anything new with anybody else? Camille, Matt? What y'all?
Like I said, my nephew's adorable. My new one.
I can't complain. I've just been hanging out.
Oh, crap, there's a lot of people. Thank you, Aunt Adrian. Thank you so much.
What's up, Jazz?
Hi.
So, Jazz.
Nothing really been new for me either. Come to think of it. You know what is new? This second wave of coronavirus that's coming around, swirling around, and everybody act like nothing happening, but it ain't going nowhere. It's actually just getting worse.
I don't know how you can have a second wave with something that never really went away.
Hello? Let's talk about it.
Right? That's what I'm confused about.
Let's
second
talk.
Wave, but it's been here. It never went away to have a second wave.
Hello?
This isn't like a hurricane that left and came back.
Well, I think that they're calling it the second wave because we were starting to trend down as a nation. And so we were trying to beat the curve and we were going down, but then
Jersey's been
right on back up.
We didn't get a curve opportunity to really go down. It just stopped going up, and everybody's like, well, we did our job.
Yeah. Well, Texas and Florida never just shut down. They shut down for like a week. And because people complained, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, weak people. Well, it's a weak state because they just were like catering to what everybody else wanted. They didn't just sit down and close.
I mean,
Well, I think
Jersey has been good. Like honestly, like Murphy has really held it down.
Not
Like, honestly,
Solari.
in my opinion, I feel like he did a really good job. One of the only governors to really care, if you ask me. So Jersey did do okay. So I had to call it a second wave for us, but a lot of places in the world,
It's the same first one, yeah.
Exactly.
not in the world, because the world is doing well. It's America.
Project ever.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
I think. Oh, go ahead, Camille. No, you go ahead.
Go.
Well,
I'm willingly saying that.
I think that you have people who have dangerous ideologies across the board, because you have these videos of the Karens going into stores intentionally to throw a fit about the mask. And it's crazy to me that there are a segment of our society who is refusing to believe science once more, who's refusing to believe the experts of this field and the people that actually know what's going on. And they're just saying, it is what it is. I even had a lady come in as a customer, and she was a very big Christian. She was, praise Jesus and praise Trump.
Talk about
did care.
And Cuomo did a great
You
job
were
as well.
No, Cuomo did too.
But she came in talking about,
You were right there.
Well, yeah, him, Jersey.
The name is hard to say. Cuomo. It's hard to say.
Cuomo.
Jersey, New York, and Connecticut put that ban up, like basically saying half the other country, if you come to these states, you got to sit by yourself for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and our state too. I mean, my friend just came from Florida.
You're saying Jersey,
the quarantine.
3 states. They said if you're coming from any of them wild states, you got to quarantine.
Yeah.
One of my good friends just moved home from Seattle, Washington. She had a job out there, and she just got home. She moved home, and she had to quarantine for 14 days before she could see her family, anything like that. So it is important and serious, and people are gladly taking it serious here.
Not in other states, though.
Yeah, not in other states. Not in other states. But yes, here things are being taken seriously.
For the most part.
That's a very good point. That's American bravado. I'm listening. America, this is off tangent, but I feel like Americans have this I've never felt this way or felt the need to say it. Like Americans love to say, we're the greatest country in the world or whatever, and it's been the thing for years. Such an odd, I guess I'll say, centralistic point of view of things. I always thought that was weird about just America.
It is.
Did you guys see that actually Mexico closed the border?
Yeah, I did.
I would too.
Yeah, they closed the border in Texas. Yeah.
But can I just say to what Aaron said? I remember my freshman year of college, I had a history professor, and he did an exercise with the class where he told us to draw the globe. And so we were supposed to draw the globe.
People draw America like it's as big as Russia, child.
Like it's and the center. I didn't do that. I drew the Atlantic Ocean as the center, Europe over here, America over there. But everybody else, they fell for the trap.
Yeah, people. I don't know. It's just the way
it's America first, America only.
Where they're told, it's just very interesting.
Yeah.
But in the same vein of coronavirus, y'all's president, Mr. Trump, decided to tweet and in Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and many other countries, schools are open with no problems. The Dems think it would be bad for them.
You could do it.
Oh, politically. All right.
You know that man can't write. The
Dems think it would be bad for them politically if U.S. schools open before the November election, but is important for children and families. May cut off funding if not open. I disagree with the CDC on their very tough and expensive guidelines for opening schools. While they want them open, they're asking schools to do very impractical things. I'll be meeting with them.
He's going to meet with all the schools of America?
Put that out there. He said that about America.
That's a perfect analogy. I get it.
Not a Gucci belt.
My thoughts are, I guess, twofold. One, should schools be open and up in the fall? Should it be a nationwide thing? Should it be a state to state thing? Kind of sort of like it pretty much schools have been run. And I don't know if he even has the ability to cut funding for schools that don't open. I truly don't know if he even has that.
I don't think so either.
He says a lot of things that he thinks he can do, and then he finds out he can't. And I'm like, you probably should know what you can and cannot do before you get sworn in.
I definitely feel like it should be a state to state thing. Like it depends on like
thank
you. Obviously, it really depends on like
where you at,
what the state of your state is in. Honestly,
I know what you mean.
If you have a lot of cases, then obviously no, schools shouldn't be open because that's when you're really everybody's face to face, everybody's like breathing on each other. Exactly, in close proximity. So like if you have a lot of cases, then absolutely not, schools should not be open. Is school and education important? Yeah. But it really depends on just the health of like all your people.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult because you have children and parents can't stay home and to homeschool their kids.
Or parents have to work. Yeah.
Right, they have to go to work. And then you have kids, unfortunately, who need those meals at school.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So there's just a lot of factors that
go into
there's not space. Yeah, there's not space like even in classrooms, regardless of whether it's a private school or public school, for kids to be 6 feet apart. And then like they're kids, like they're not gonna listen to that. You can barely probably get them to wear their masks. So it's like
a lot of them don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, especially younger kids.
So working in schools, it's going to be impossible to get these kids to abide by 6 feet rules and wearing masks all the time, not touching their mask, things of that nature. It's just not going to be possible. But then on top of that, like to answer some of your fears, at least here in New Jersey, all of the school districts have had to come up with plans as far as food distribution is concerned, and they've been doing so quite well. And then I think that also we have to remember that we've going through this first part of Corona and having to be forced to do a lot of things digitally. It's not impossible to start to do more digital teaching and teaching remotely. So, I think that there's like plans where they might have school for each class maybe once a week. And then for the rest of the week, exactly, they're going to rotate things of that nature.
Hybrid situation. I don't believe that it can be 100% virtual. I don't think they'll be able to do that for a year.
No, it doesn't need to be. But
I don't think that would be
there has to be virtual aspects.
Yeah.
My friend who's a teacher said that even this year when they had to do it, she said a lot of her students didn't even log in.
Yeah,
but they couldn't penalize them for it. They couldn't fail them.
Yeah.
So really, everybody got a free pass.
I think that has to change. I think they have to start penalizing.
They will
be more strict with it.
I think because it kind of happened in the middle of the year, they just said, well, whatever. But if they go into it knowing and sending out information, that beginning of the school year, that list of your school supplies, well, now it's going to tell you that you have to be online and stuff like that, just like you have to show for school. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what I don't think there's a one size fits all solution to this. There's definitely going to be a state.
There's not a way. There's not a way for it to be one size fits all. I don't think.
Can I just say that as far as funding is concerned, because I know that President Trump and Betsy DeVos have both said that they are considering cutting funding for those who don't go back to the physical school. At least here in New Jersey, most of the school funds come from the property tax. That's how schools are funded here in New Jersey. And many other places.
Very
so,
true.
Again, their veiled threats are just, first of all, it's stupid because you have places that, their rates are going up, their death rates are going up. It would be asinine for a place like Florida to consider to go back to going to the brick and mortar school setting. It's just not safe. Same with Arizona, same with Georgia. Places like New Jersey, we can consider doing a partial thing. Connecticut, I think he's gonna try to push to go back to school, but a lot of people are not feeling safe. And so we have to take all things into consideration, create different types of task forces, boards, or whatever to analyze what's happening and to get the feel of how people are feeling, and then make an educated decision and not just blurt out something, because all that Trump said was everybody got to go back to school.
What Darnell just said there.
Mm-hmm.
Disaster. Most kids are really behind. Yeah, kids are really behind. My mom, her kids, especially for younger kids, because my mom teaches preschool and up to kindergarten, and younger kids, she's like, dang, trying to latch on to none of this information they try and give them. That age generation, and they behind going into first grade, second grade, and really can build on top of each other. Mm-hmm. But moving on,
their parents are millennials.
It can be. Y'all, the bubonic plague is apparently back.
Wait, what did you call it?
The bubonic. I can't speak today. I did a lot. I did a lot of talking today. My
bubonic, right? Bubonic.
Look,
blue bonnet. I'm kidding now.
But apparently that plague is back, and people are worried. And I just at this point, it's just the next level in Jumanji, and we're just living in it, bro. That's all that really.
I feel like God can come back at any time. You can come on home.
They said July has entered its later.
I don't know, because there was those flying roaches and stuff, or what it was.
They still around? They ain't going nowhere, apparently.
All right. I mean, I feel like
I remember in English class, that's when they said the bubonic plague, the Black Death. It really came.
You have to sing it right.
It really came from like people like literally trash used to live on the ground, and people threw their poop outside, and just like stuff like that. That's like where the plague actually came from. So if this is back right now, it really, I don't know.
Well, it spreads by just Googling it. It spreads by animals and insect bites or stings. So it's not too much.
That's funny.
Exactly. It came. This came from like the worst of the worst. Poor hygiene. Exactly. Poor hygiene. The disgusting. Like just worst of the worst. Like this is. So if this is back, then
it's just lapsed for us, the human.
Well. They're also saying that due to global warming, a lot of permafrost is melting away.
A lot of things due to global warming, though,
are coming up out of the ice that is melting.
Yeah, diseases that were frozen for literally 1,000 years are now trying to resurface because
and they're gonna kill us.
It's coming.
Better stay in your house. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Hide everybody.
Moving on. So. The NFL has decided to play Lift Every Voice, aka the Black National Anthem, before every game during week 1 of the regular season.
Yeah,
just week one.
Just
we get 1 week.
Just week 1.
Just week 1.
Like we get 1 month.
And
when is it going to be in February?
I don't really think this is what anybody was asking for. I don't look. Call me. I don't want this. That's not what I asked for personally. I don't think this does anything. I don't feel no solidarity from this. This is just.
I was watching Undisputed, the Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless show. I was watching that, and then obviously I'm a big football fan. I really I'm excited for week 1, whatever. But Shannon Sharp said pretty much it's pretty much putting a Band-Aid over the wound.
Yeah.
It is. It's not even a real Band-Aid. It's like throwing a random cloth over. You ain't got a real Band-Aid with Neosporin and this rubbing alcohol. It's like, I'm bleeding.
I mean, when I first read it, I was like, oh wow, well, that's really cool. But when I actually like really sat there and thought about
it, that's funny.
When I first read it, I was like, wow, that's actually cool. But like, no, when I actually sat there and thought about it, I was like, what is this actually helping? Like, never mind.
Absolutely
you might as well just not do anything. Like,
I just feel like, first of all,
Colin Kaepernick still does not have a job. So
hello.
What is the first week gonna do? Like, I just want to know, like, what was their motive behind it? Were they like, oh, this will make them happy, or like what? Like what?
everybody.
I don't
Let
know.
me just say this: every corporation, entity, whatever, everybody is out here trying to do random stuff that we're talking about. Would this make them happy? Texas talking about something they're not gonna call it a master bedroom no more. We ain't care about that.
Yeah,
we're asking for that.
Right.
So everybody's trying to do something that will this make them happy? Will this appease the blacks? Will this put a band-aid on it? Will this get them to calm down and chill? No, it won't.
So
at the end of the day, Breonna Taylor's killers are still on the loose.
So is Elijah McClain's.
Exactly. Like it's really so if you really like sit there and think about it, like it's not helping anything.
It's not.
So something that would help, I think. I mean, first of all, are they going to play all the verses? Because I would love to see that. But
they're not. They're going to play the first.
I know.
But
I just researched it. As of 2018, there were only 2 owners of color in the NFL. If they want to see big changes within the NFL, give Black people the opportunity to actually create ownership. And if there are people of color who actually want to buy into these teams, allow them to do so. Because I think that previously there have been times where they've been blocked out systematically. So let's talk about that, because this is why we're having these issues, and this is why they're thinking that playing Lift Every Voice will appease us. No, treat your players right, listen to what they're saying, donate to actual causes that are helping this issue that is happening in this country, and then also allow Black people into ownership positions.
Yes, the NFL is 70% Black, and there's like I could probably count on 2 hands how many Black coaches / owners there are.
Yeah, that's what this speaks to what you were talking about right now. Real quick. This is I didn't put this on the docket, and Matt, you may know the answer to this because you're more in tune to football than I am. Is Jay-Z still working with them? Because remember when Jay-Z did this whole thing and he was working on
Jay-Z said he won't do the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Wait. I mean, he won't do the Super Bowl, but I'm saying, is he still part of the entertainment?
That's what I'm saying. Remember, he was part of the entertainment to make the entertainment more whatever. So this could have been Jay-Z's idea, as far as we know.
I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure. But I do know he was offered the Super Bowl and he said no.
Yeah.
Same with Rihanna. Rihanna won't do it either. But I'm actually not sure if he's still
and that
working with them.
Diversity role that he got a big hullabaloo about. What's up, Camille?
Who is the most famous football player y'all have met?
I've met
nobody.
I don't think I've ever met a football player.
Who you meet?
I met
many.
Oh my gosh.
Tell you after me.
Hold on.
Give me a name, child.
I met some Eagles quarterback.
Better not be
which one?
The one that's in trouble. Sean Jackson.
I met Ron Jarowski.
He's a wide receiver.
I met Ron Jarowski.
Did you really?
Yeah, he gave his foundation, the Jaws Foundation, donated 100 bikes to be distributed at my Y this past Christmas. So it was 100 boys and 100 girls bikes.
Oh, nice.
The foundation donated, and he was there.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
I've met 2 Eagles players who came into my store and shop. I've met Odell Beckham. That was like the most famous one.
Corey Clement.
Lamar, you've met everybody though.
That is true. Camille just asked this question so she could flex. She already had her lined up.
Pretty much.
Her answer ready, right?
Exactly. Like, ain't nobody else even getting their thing outside of me, and I only met him this past December. If you'd asked me this a couple months ago, I would have had nobody. I don't think I've ever met a football player. I don't think so.
Exactly. I've met what's his name? Tom Brady, who plays the Giants.
What's going on? Okay.
You met Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Do you know who Yes, y'all know this. I think.
Like I said, Camille asked this question so she could flex.
It's the only thing I can flex on. So.
Camille asked this so she could flex.
There's a Tom Brady jersey.
Can I flex for a second? Can I flex?
No.
Oh, Lord. Who are you going to say? Kirk Franklin, Darnell?
No, I met Oprah.
You met Oprah?
Speaking of the NFL,
I met Dr. J one time
racist.
in the airport.
Who?
Dr. J.
Dr. J? Oh.
A
You
Sixer.
should ask him for some beats. Did you want some beats before?
I guess. I
cannot.
I don't know.
Well, you look like a cheater person.
That's funny.
But
He's weird. He's a little
being
awkward
trash and racist. A lot of people did. I guess I'll say a lot of. I've seen a lot of push from Twitter. Just Black community, not even just Black community, just people in general. The world is fed up with this. So there's a lot of pressure on FedEx, Nike, and Pepsi, who are huge partners for this team, to cut ties with the Redskins if they do not change their name. If you don't know, FedEx Field, that's the name of the stadium. So FedEx is the stadium partner. Nike's the partner that does all the equipment, jerseys, all of that stuff. And then Pepsi is the partner that sells the food at the games. So they're pretty much their biggest three partners. Nike's already took the steps to remove the Redskin jerseys from their website. So you can't purchase one right now, at least through Nike.
They took everything off the site.
Yeah. So you can't get Redskins paraphernalia from Nike. And this is a big step. A lot of people, this has been, I think, something that's been big.
It's been a problem.
I've seen people push stuff with the NFL, and it's been a problem since years. My whole life, as long as I can remember. I've always heard
for
people.
Decades, Native Americans have been trying to get the name changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy, guys? I don't think the name's ever going to change.
I mean, Dan Snyder has been on record of saying we're never changing the name.
Unless they get an owner.
He thinks that a lot of Native Americans, he goes, a lot of Native Americans don't care, so like we're not changing it.
That's a
lie.
That's a lie.
No, see, the thing is, what happened was a couple years ago, the Redskins or something affiliated with the Redskins did a poll, and they polled Native Americans. I don't remember how much the poll was, but this is the stat they ran. It was like 70 or 80% of Native Americans that they polled allegedly didn't mind it, and so they've been running on this.
I don't believe
Native
that.
Americans don't care for like years. Now, granted, who knows?
So he doesn't see an issue with
they polled from all this, that, and the third. If you ask me, it should have been changed. But like I said, unless, like Matt just said, their owner already said they ain't changing it. So unless a new person buys it, unless they sell, and a lot of times it's hard for the sports world, the owners just pass the team down to their kids. So unless they sell or he do something crazy or the NFL forces it to happen, it ain't gonna happen.
So here's the thing. I took some Native American classes, history classes, in college for my history major. And Native Americans have been fighting this name for decades. It is a derogatory term for Native Americans. They literally would cut a Native American at their head and make them bleed, which is why they were called Redskins.
That's where the name comes from.
And so they have been literally trying to fight this. They fought it enough to where they changed the skin color of the logo. But they still want the name change because that is a derogatory term for Native Americans. That's like having an NFL team named niggas. Like, come on. It just can't flow. It can't flow.
You know what's sad? So I think a lot of Black guys would actually still be on that team.
Hopefully, I hope not. Hopefully, because
they probably would.
Because their pockets hopefully will be affected. He might not understand the cries of the Native Americans that they've been crying out for decades, but he will understand his bottom dollar. And when the budget comes in and it shows that he ain't getting as much money and the sponsors are pulling out and feeling a little bit funny, hopefully that'll get him to change.
See, I mean, my thing is this: like, it's a derogatory term. What part don't you get? Derogatory or term? Like,
it's been that
I don't understand. Like,
26 years, they've been the Redskins my whole life. As pessimistic as I truly don't think they're gonna change.
There's not too many times you have to tell me that something is offensive for me to stop saying it. You know, if I call you outside your name and be like, "Hey, I don't like when you say that." Okay, sorry. I apologize and I won't say it again. But obviously, the Redskins have been the Redskins forever. So I feel like it's just a matter of the owner does not care.
I don't think it's honestly the sponsors that would affect their pockets as much as the players just deciding not to play. That where everybody's pockets.
But they
The
would
players,
be
like the
facing like $1 million
sponsors,
lawsuits.
you can get new sponsors. There's plenty of sponsors, I'm sure, that don't care just as much as they do.
Lawsuits.
Unfortunately, but I think that players not playing.
But what they would be, there would be so much litigation.
They're not going to do that, but
litigation?
Because they signed a contract.
Who would be?
They just want to get paid.
The players.
No, I don't think players will sit out. NFL don't be holding down their players as much as other sports. They'll just, if you're not a big name, low key, they'll just drop you. Your money not guaranteed anyway in the NFL.
Facts.
Because my point, the reason I really say this is because one, players have already seen how the NFL treats players who stand up for something because they seen how they did Kaepernick.
True.
And while there were some other players who were kneeling alongside of Kaepernick, no one of that big of a name as Kaepernick was kneeling when Kaepernick was kneeling. Like no one else got that same type of backlash that he got. So now players want to do it because they thinking they might lose their job like Kaepernick did.
A lot of the Giants players got let go for kneeling. I don't know if they're like big names, but I know that they did.
I feel like that's how we feel about these statues. They're offensive. We want them gone, but they've been here forever. I mean, that's also a perfect.
I mean, they've been tearing a lot of statues down, honestly.
Do you know that there's Confederate monuments in New Jersey, y'all?
There's Confederate monuments all over the country.
We need to tear them down. I'm telling you. I don't care if I get 10 years. I'm tearing this Confederate monument down. I heard somewhere in Salem or somewhere. I'm gonna get it.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'm gonna take a sledgehammer and I'm knocking it down.
They're everywhere, but I don't know.
I don't know if I would go to Salem alone.
Huh?
I wouldn't go to Salem alone.
I mean, if you're driving, I'll help. I'll come.
Really, Matt? That's my ride or die right there, y'all.
But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to. Do I think they should remove it? Obviously, yes. Do I think they're going to change it?
It's going to take a while because they said they were doing a thorough evaluation, but there's been an evaluation.
Well, how about they change it to a name of a Native American that was?
Wait! I'm very glad. I'm very glad you brought that up because they said they might change it to the Washington Warriors, but not change any logos. I was like,
change the freaking
what's their basketball team?
Again, that's another band-aid.
Yeah, they were saying Warriors.
And then they said they might do the Washington Red Tails, which would be celebrating the Tuskegee Airmen, which would be good. However, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
That's how you know.
Apparently, there's a march in DC happening in August. Apparently, I guess that's
there is. I want to go.
Again, if you're driving, I'll come.
Aaron.
There's buses and shuttles and stuff.
Y'all got more volunteers. Tearing them out, change their behavior and these. That's
true.
Yeah, but it'll make me feel better in the moment.
Yeah.
It's like punching somebody. Don't do nothing.
So we discussed this rapper on this podcast before, Pop Smoke, who was murdered at this point. Wow, a couple months ago. At this point, his
it was one of our first shows.
First couple of shows, yeah. His posthumous album just released this past Friday. Not necessarily once. I mean, Matt, I feel like you probably don't know or listen to it. But I more so want to ask if you haven't listened to that album, just the thought or idea of artists, or it's not even the artists releasing it, the record label releasing posthumous albums after a person has passed.
I mean, a lot of people do it.
I listened to a couple songs on it, and I haven't listened to the whole thing just yet. I don't know, but like something about like them putting songs out after the artist has passed away. Unfortunately, it always like rubbed me a weird way. Like I obviously I've listened to Whitney Houston's. I've listened. I listened to Whitney Houston's posthumous album, Michael Jackson. I have his album. I don't know. It makes me feel weird because obviously they're not here anymore.
Sad. I mean, I feel like when I listen to it, I feel like I wonder if this is like the quality of what they wanted. Like, is this like, did they do this right? Like, is this really out? Because to me, if I was dead and someone to come out with the album, I'd be like, well, y'all better come correct, like, with it.
Yeah. I'm on a team of like, if they were already working on this album and it was almost done, go ahead and release it. But a lot of times these are a bunch of songs that they just never released, and now here y'all can have them. And it's like,
yeah, exactly.
It wasn't released for a reason. They ain't like it all the way.
It seems like a money grab to me.
Yeah, that sometimes they can feel like that. Some albums, like I might be wrong, but I believe Mac Miller's album was almost done when he passed or something.
Really?
So like so like they dropped his, and a lot of people said I didn't listen to it, but I heard a lot of good reviews from it. But that was because it was almost done already. But then you have other people's albums who are just, this is a song they worked on 5 years ago and never released. Throw it in there. So I don't know.
So I think that it depends on who's in control of the creation of the album. You had people like Tupac, who sadly passed away ahead of their time at such an early age. But his mother was granted all the rights to his music, and so she was able to release the music after he passed away, and that benefited her. But then you have situations like Michael Jackson, where, his album, he did a duet with Justin Timberlake, which I'm pretty sure he would never do in his lifetime, especially after what he did to Janet. And so you have situations like that where things get a little bit dicey, as well as Whitney Houston, the rights to her hologram, because of Pam Houston, her sister-in-law, with her money grubbing self. So it depends on who's in control of the catalog. I think that artists also have a lot of songs that aren't released because of the record labels, because the record labels deem it as, not commercially acceptable, or, it won't sell well. And so they have a lot of repertoire in their arsenal. And after they pass away, I think that it's a good opportunity to listen to that music, because you're getting really the true sense of the artist without having to be filtered through the eyes of a record label.
My thing is that if you didn't want to release it, if you didn't want to release it while I was alive, why all of a sudden now that I'm dead you want to release it?
That's
where it comes in for the money grab for me. It was like, okay.
But I mean, if you're all about the money, then let me release it.
But all artists, their works are kind of shrined after they pass away. Think about Amy Winehouse. People loved her while she was here, but after she passed away, that was everything that everybody was playing.
Not gonna lie, I was heavy into Amy Winehouse after she passed.
Exactly.
I will admit that.
It's something. I'm pretty sure that probably the same thing happened to Aaliyah. It's just
Aaliyah.
When people Aaliyah.
Who?
Because I heard her pronounce it differently.
Aaliyah.
I was gonna let it go. I was gonna let it go, child.
No, she pronounced it differently in the interview, and I was trying to pronounce it the way she pronounced it.
It's probably
like Aaliyah.
I was about to say something.
Anyway.
But also, like, when you think about Aaliyah, like her family didn't put her music on like Apple Music or Spotify or anything like that. Like, you really can't really stream her music like that, because her estate didn't want it out there.
And that's their right.
No, yeah, it absolutely is their right. But yeah, I was just saying.
I just think that when they do release it, it's a very interesting moment to see bodies of their work that we weren't able to see, maybe because of the record label, and so we get to see their artistry. What are we laughing about, Aaron? Somebody said something.
Hey, y'all gotta chill on this. It's been a long day.
Adrian,
look, come some long E.
She pronounces it with a long A too.
Listen, y'all got to
what? Yeah, find it and then post it up on our next podcast.
I will.
I don't know. I don't think if I had to pick one all the way, either I'm for or against after death albums, I would say I'm against it personally.
Agreed.
That's just me.
I'm for it if it's under the right conditions and the family has the rights to the songs and they're the ones doing the releasing.
See, I feel like it's
not L.A. Reid taking some of Michael Jackson's music and doing whatever he
I
wants.
feel like it's more of those places, Darnell, than the
LA
family
Reid.
benefiting. So that's why I'm just like, no.
LA Reid slows Tony Braxton money.
LA Reid
we're
needs
not
to
ready for
go.
that conversation.
Okay. And yet we're still having it.
Y'all voting for Kanye in the election?
Hell no. Ooh, I cuss.
Y'all, this is a first.
On
Darnell said a
live.
cuss word
Wow.
on live. I've never heard him cuss my entire knowing of him.
The record point.
Yes, y'all have.
I've known him for 20 years, and I have
think-
not heard him say not one cuss word up until this point.
I think that the problem with Kanye, well, I actually screenshotted some things that he said in an interview, and they're just bullet points. He says that he's okay with the prospect of siphoning off black voters from the Democratic candidate Joe Biden, which could damage Joe Biden's chances of winning. And he says to say the black vote is Democratic is a form of racism and white supremacy. And he said he no longer supports Donald Trump, but he would not run against him as a Republican. Instead, he said he is creating his own political party, and it's called the Birthday Party. Y'all, if you vote for this man, you're wasting your vote. It's called the Birthday Party. You're wasting your vote.
Listen, bro.
You're pretty much ensuring that we're going to have 4 more years
it
of
is
the hot Cheeto that needs to be crushed, thrown away, spat on, and put in the dumpster fire.
I feel like this is the equivalent of people voting for Harambe, back in 2016. This is Harambe. Like, open your eyes. I'm glad, turn on the same channel that I'm watching. Like, this is not okay.
No, sir.
Okay.
Never. She has a sex tape. She can never be my first lady.
JB said he got your slip up recorded.
Can I just say, Kanye, if you're watching this, come out the sunken place. Get out the sunken place, Kanye.
He
loves doing that.
He did it last week, and it's just.
He did.
I'm trying to save these people.
Terry
Crews need to come out the sunken place. Kanye needs to come out the sunken place.
The thing is about this, I think people may actually vote for him depending on how much effort he puts into a quote unquote campaign. Without even realizing,
people actually think Kanye is going to be a good president. Like, please let me know.
Not more information. Like, it's information you got to fill out to apply to run, and he ain't done none of it.
There's qualifications,
and he just said, "I'm doing this."
And Elon Musk said, "Okay, I'm behind."
Twitter.
Elon Musk is behind this.
To be honest,
this is a fallacy.
I'm tired.
I can't. I grow tired.
A farce.
I don't really have much to say.
Do people actually like sit there and really think that Kanye is going to be a good president?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I believe that there are people who do.
Could you imagine saying the president of the United States is Kanye West?
I'm gonna tell y'all right now. This is a good point. Kanye about to drop an album. Y'all heard it here first. He don't get everybody talking about him. He didn't drop an album. No, what? Because you know what it is. It's not an album. I'm sorry. He about to drop a clothing line probably because he just partner up with Gap. He just partnered up with Gap like 2 weeks ago.
He did.
Right on.
Didn't Gap file for bankruptcy? Ain't they?
That's why he partnered with them, and they shot back up because it's him partnering with them.
Kanye's an idiot. If you vote for him, you're an idiot. That's all there is.
I just wanted to get that out there. Let people know what people think about that. So we got 2 more. We got time. So today's discussion topic. Matt was watching Beyond Scared Straight, so I'm gonna let him introduce this because he's the one who.
I love that show.
So
I've never.
Yeah, I was watching Beyond Scared Straight. I was watching like some of the funny moments and everything like that, and then the more I sat there and thought about it, I was like, yeah, it's funny. I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm laughing at it, but it's 9 out of 10 black kids. Like, and I don't know. Like, this is the idea that obviously trying to keep black kids out of jail, off the streets, whatever like that. So I don't know. It just like it made me feel some kind of way.
So what was your question in it? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that part when we were doing this whole pre-discussion.
No, I guess her thought, right, is when I saw that, I kind of thought about Beyond Scared Straight. I don't know. This cops both of these are kind of put in the same vein for me personally, and it seems to, I guess, because the purpose of Beyond Stairs Great is to show that, scare these kids and to not ending up in jail or whatever. But like, I don't know, to an extent, it almost makes jail look funny or makes it look fun. Makes jail look as bad as it is.
Yeah. That's my point. Yeah.
And I think that, like when Matt said that, like it's mainly these black kids, and it is the prison show, Miss Angelique. That is the prison show. When it's a lot of these black kids, so then black kids growing up watching the show, seeing basically themselves in prison. We all know representation matters. Representation is everything. You don't see yourself represented on some of these other shows where it might be shows of kids being successful, or what's that, Chop Junior, whatever it is, the youngest Iron Chef.
My cool cousin was on that show.
Master Chef Junior.
You don't usually see a ton of black kids on there, is my point, but you see all these black kids in Beyond Stairs Great. So I mean, exactly. I don't know. It just I agree with Matt. Personally, it could be canceled if you ask me. I was happy when I seen Cops was canceled. I don't need to see police,
what they do on the daily,
glorified or whatever. Because if you want it to be glorified and you want the versions of that, there's no such thing as, because that's supposed to be real cops. There's no such thing as a show that's, I mean, I guess there is real ER shows where they be following cameras in the ER, but I don't be watching them either.
I feel like things like that shouldn't be televised. Like, it shouldn't be something that, like, if you want to reach kids before they get to that point, I feel like putting them on a TV show and exploiting them in that manner. So now they're in these prisons. Maybe they are genuinely scared, but now they're also on camera, and it's going to stay with them for the rest of their lives. And I just think that there's other ways and there's other things that people can do as in a community where they can reach kids to get to that, so they don't get to that point. But I feel like there's better ways to do it than trying to like make $1 off of it and make money off of it. And that's my problem. It's like they're making. Can I finish my one thought?
I'm sorry.
I feel uncomfortable with people making money off of trying to help children be better.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, it's just the wrong way.
So my thing,
I feel like a lot of clips from that shows, like it turns into memes and like
they do
like stuff like that.
Yeah.
My thing is that we see there's been enough like statistics showing that there's a direct correlation between statistics with young Black children in school receiving detention, expulsions, things of that nature, and being disciplined on a school level to incarceration rates. I think that being somebody that's observed schools and how our Black kids are dealt with in a public school setting, I see the difference. You have a white child and the teacher, the education team will say, you can do better. There's so much more. You know how to do better. You know that this isn't wrong. This is wrong. You can do, this is what you're supposed to do. But then when it comes to the Black kids, it sounds like you're wrong. You keep on getting in trouble. It's almost like a talking down instead of a building up to do better. And so if we're talking about change, a show like that is not telling kids you can do better. It's saying you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And just like Jasmine said, it's a pipeline to prison. And then to take kids into that setting, you're pretty much putting them into a psychological moment of, this is my destiny. This is where I will end up. This is what my future will be. And I will be a statistic, and this is how I'm going to end up. And then I'll be part of a system that will constantly regurgitate me, eat me back up, regurgitate me. And it's going to be just a terrible cycle. So I think that we have to start young, making sure that we build our children up. We're aware of what our teachers are saying to our kids and how they're talking to them. And that we again, be advocates for our own. I know that some kids are bad, and that's the truth. But at the same time, a lot of these teachers be instigating. And I'm just going to say that and leave it there. Because I've dealt with some instigating teachers, and I'm a good kid.
Here's something.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say you're a good kid, sir.
Right.
Back in high school?
It's a reach.
Back in high school, no, all my teachers liked me except for that one that would
reach.
be coming to me and being like, "Why don't you stay a while? Take off your jacket." Meanwhile, the whole class is full of coats and jackets, and tell me things like, "Get on the stick."
You triggered him. He's triggered.
Here's the
So-
one with self.
I
That's the
think
next
it
person
just
they need to fire.
never mind.
Go ahead.
Forget it. Moment's over.
All right. Well, if it's over, I'm gonna move on. I'm just letting you know, Camille. So you get it out.
That's fine. I'm used.
Camille, say
No,
what you
I'm
want
used
to
to
say.
this. No, forget it.
All right. So yeah, that's very. This is an interesting topic. Thank you for bringing it up, Matt. On a slightly lighter note, I had so much fun with our Will Smith versus Jamie Foxx conversation last week. I
Jamie
thought
all the way.
I thought
Oh, you still hurt? You still hurt, Camille?
to do
You're on
something
the island by yourself.
similar but different. So one's got to go. Denzel Washington edition, and by one, if you let it go, that means you don't remember it. So you don't got the memory of it. You don't got the quotes from it. You don't got nothing from it. The culture of that movie is now gone. The 4 movies are John Q, Training Day, Remember the Titans, and Book of Eli. The way we're going to do it is you're going to say the ones you're keeping first. And the last one is the one you let go. We'll just go.
I need you to like type this up or something.
Who's going
around
first?
Wait,
Who's
tell
going-
me the stories.
You need the movies again. John Q,
Yeah.
Training Day, Remember the Titans, and Book of Eli. Now I'll go first.
Okay.
I already know since I'm the one who brought it up. The first one that's staying for me is Training Day. It is the first one that's staying for me, hands down. It's the most quotable. You know, Kayne ain't got issue with me. 23-hour lockdown, JUCO program. You know what I mean? It's the most quotable. It's got the most some of my favorite GIFs, whatever you want to call it, are from that movie. It's just a fire movie. And it's one of the few movies where Denzel was the bad guy.
That's true. He's usually like a good guy that kills.
Yeah. Here he just was trash.
Like the Book of Eli, basically.
If y'all can't remember, Lamar typed it out for y'all.
Oh,
Matt,
thanks.
I'm on the Google Doc, so I remember.
Good looking out.
first, Matt.
What am I keeping first? Remember the Titans. That's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Wait, Aaron, you didn't say all of them. You
No,
said the
we're
last
just saying one. You're just saying your first one that you
one.
keep it. We're going around,
Okay.
so you got to remember what you got left.
All right, you can take Lamar's off.
Remember the Titans is my most quotable movie. Like, I don't know. Okay, the scene where he comes to the scene where he comes to the hospital.
Oh, hey, Pete.
And the nurse didn't want to let him in. He goes like, "That's my brother." Like, you know, with the black guy
Yeah.
and
That was beautiful.
that. Yes,
You talking about Remember the Titans? Yeah.
yes. When little Hayden Panettiere and the black girl, the little like Denzel's daughter, like the relationships in that movie were just like awesome. Like that's one of my all-time favorite movies. I could watch it every single day.
Darnell?
So I would say
I gotta
Remember
go
the
left?
Titans as my first one. Do you want to go before me?
I'm just going around. Okay, Darnell. Dang, I'm literally just going in the box.
So, but I'm going to say, to be different, I'm going to say, because I'm definitely going to keep it, I'm going to say Book of Eli, just because I remember when it was released and watching it with my family, and how, because, you know, we knew that it had something to do with the Bible. You know, I come from a super religious family, so we like Bible. So, but watching the movie, watching the action scenes, watching him quote random verses of scripture, and then at the end to find out that that man was blind and was doing all that.
Spoiled it for everybody.
That ain't a spoil. If you
movie's
ain't
so
Book of
old.
Eli
If you
yet,
didn't watch it by now, it's spoiled.
look, Precious ain't
So,
seen
Some
it.
people haven't.
Precious
I've
ain't.
never seen it.
Precious just said she ain't never seen it.
well, girl, go watch it.
It's
I just
good.
gave you the spark notes.
I've
But
never
I
seen
tell
it.
you, that thing was just so interesting to me, just to see, you know, the post-apocalyptic type of movie. I feel like, you know, we're about 2 months away from it anyway, so we might as well watch it again so we can prepare ourselves. And that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. I will agree with
Book of Eli, apparently.
right.
This
Act
movie is
surprised
so
me also, I guess.
old. So old.
I'm just saying.
I would say the Book of Eli as well is probably one of my number one favorites. It was really, really good. And even though they're now spoiled the whole movie for everybody, you guys should still
It's
watch
10
it.
years old. If you ain't seen it, you don't.
I know, but still, some people don't want to know the ending. Me, I don't really care because I'll watch it.
I've never
anyway.
seen.
So
I've never
that's
seen
right.
it. I've never seen it.
Eli?
Really?
No,
I'll come
and
over
honestly,
and we'll watch it.
I wasn't really listening to Darnell either, so I didn't hear the ending.
How are we doing this? You ain't ever seen one of the movies on the list.
I love how you just.
You brought it up.
I've asked y'all if y'all seen all the movies before I said the list.
I definitely said that I have not seen this movie.
Don't
Matt,
don't pull my black card because I don't think I've seen Kayne Day either.
I definitely
I
said
didn't
that.
see John Q. I never
We
saw
not
John Q.
y'all ain't seen the movie.
Sorry. It's just one. It's just one.
I can't.
Honestly, but that makes it up. That messes it up because then you can just throw whatever you haven't seen at the bottom of your list.
No, because I already know what's at the bottom of my list.
Let's do a Medea movie.
Let's do
Medea movie.
No, because they're all trash
Let's do
except for
Medea
Family That
movies.
Prays.
No, because those movies are way better and it was even more polarized because each story is bad movies. But y'all ain't even seen all four of them.
What about Marvel? Let's do a Marvel
Don't
movie.
yell at me.
Let's do a Marvel movie.
Oh, I definitely said when we were talking about it that
No,
I
you
have
did not.
I know I did.
Did y'all hear Matt say he hear this?
Yeah, I heard him say that.
That's all right. So what's the next one? Can I pick my next one that I like? The next one that I like
think Aaron's
is
over. I think Aaron's
Remember the
over
Titans.
Is this your second one?
Over it.
Yes.
I think Aaron's over it.
That's my I'm on the second one.
Okay, well go ahead. Sorry.
Right on.
Aaron,
Aaron,
you gotta say something.
That was fake, man.
You gotta say something.
The Book of Eli. It's my second one. It was a great movie.
Aaron's big mad. He ain't little mad. He big mad. He big mad. Matt ain't got no more because he didn't watch the rest.
That's how I feel. Y'all is trash.
Oh my God. No, I've seen all of them but one.
That's the whole point.
Matt, they love your fans.
They love my
fans. Give the people what they want.
There you go.
Okay.
Matt, what's your movie? That's your keep. That's your second movie.
My second favorite one is John Q.
Is it really?
No. Training Day. That's my number 2.
The first one again? Oh, Remember the Titans? Yeah.
Remember Titans, and then Training Day.
So I'm choosing Remember the Titans because I remember it was played at school because I guess they were trying to tell us that we're all in this together.
It was played at school.
I felt like we played it at school a couple times.
No, we didn't. At least not
a couple of my teachers did. He big mad. He big mad.
Remember the Titans was mine as well because it's a classic. And
I know I said this.
You did.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I don't think Aaron was listening to you.
We should have spoke up. You should have spoke up and said it again and made sure I would have
said it. I remember he said it.
Well, you didn't want to speak up for me.
Thank you.
I would have.
Thank you.
I didn't say nothing because I was in the same boat.
Guys.
All right, my third one. I don't really love this movie, but it's whatever. I think I've seen it. I've seen it a couple times. I don't love it, but I like it more than the other one. And I'm keeping Training Day, and John Q can go. I don't ever want to see that movie again. I did not like it at all. It was just sad all the way through. It wasn't good. I didn't like it.
Did you just not like because he wasn't like the greatest person in the movie?
What you mean? What, John Q? He was a good person in the movie. He was all right. He was doing what he had to do for his son. I just didn't like the movie.
Oh, well, no, I think he was like, wasn't he Debbie Dad?
No, he was a good dad.
Matt, what's your next choice? We gotta move this along.
Did you see John Q? Because you probably ain't see that neither.
I mean,
no, I think I did.
Look, you think you did. You don't know.
For me,
good dad.
For me, Book of Eli can go.
Yeah, because you ain't seen it.
I've seen John Q.
Yeah, and you haven't seen Book of Eli, so of course it can go. Next.
So,
Oh, that's not the movie I thought it was.
You ain't seen John Q neither?
Oh, can we yell at somebody else, please? Like,
okay.
take the heat off me. Can I get off the pot, please?
I'll take the heat off you, man.
So Camille, you haven't seen two of the movies on this list?
So,
You telling me?
I'm sorry. I thought it was a different movie.
I can't.
So let me go. So I'm going to choose for my third Keep Training Day because I want to espouse to watch it. I'm going to get rid of John Q because you said that was trash, so I'm just going to take your word.
You never saw John Q either?
I didn't see Training Day or John Q. I might have watched
Training Day or John Q?
I might have watched Training Day when I was younger. Maybe John Q.
You said you never seen Book of Eli or John Q either? Camille, you never saw Book of Eli and never saw John Q?
I've seen Book of Eli.
But you never saw John Q?
No.
Having said that, I love Denzel Washington.
At least I cop to it. Everybody just let me get yelled at. Like, listen. Wow.
So
I was trying to defend you, Matt.
Wait, my least favorite one is Flight.
All right, this has been great. I'm not even gonna ask you if you have any final thoughts. The show's over. We're done.
Wait, we might have final thoughts.
I don't care what your final thoughts are, because y'all sit here and lied to me and gonna give me opinions on movies.
I did not lie. You weren't listening to me.
Let us have our final thoughts, because sometimes we say.
Oh, you know what? I've seen Training Day. That's what I've
seen. Long answer you give, Darnell. Y'all got 30 seconds to final thoughts, because I am through with y'all. Go ahead, Matt. You first. Come on, get this over with, because y'all trash.
Me first. Yes. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
They don't even know the best lines. Man, y'all get on my nerves.
I've seen Training Day. You ain't
seen John Q and Book of Eli, so don't talk.
Aaron,
I saw every movie but one.
Aaron, you gotta let it go.
Oh, I was let it go. He got game.
You gotta let it go.
Trash.
You gotta let it go. Camille, why you bring stuff up?
He got game.
We trying to close this thing. Matt, did you finish your final thought?
Go ahead, Darnell.
Yeah. I was done. So, yeah. Thank you everybody for watching.
Had their primaries, but I just want to make sure that everybody, again, you register to vote for the November election.
It's over in Jersey. If you ain't voted, you trash. That's all.
Yeah, but we have November to look forward to. So still register to vote.
You still trash.
Aaron, cut it out. Also, there's been some more lynchings, so be careful.
Y'all got homework. Go watch these movies, and we're going to redo this list next week. You hear me?
Aaron, who do you think you talking to?
Can we add new things?
No, these are his best 4 movies. These are his best.
The Great Debaters was good.
What about Fences?
Only thing I would switch out, maybe Eli or John Q for Man on Fire.
Oh, Man on Fire was good.
I need to watch Fences.
I've never seen that either.
He should have got an award for Fences. I didn't watch that either, but I heard that it was good, and it had Viola Davis.
It's on Hulu.
Did you see that person who recreated the scene where they were talking about?
Viola Davis. I watch all of Viola's movies. I watch every. I even watch.
Y'all really sat there and let me read. See, listen. I'm gonna put him on blast for the audience. Do
you guys see how Aaron treats me?
End the show.
Oh man.
End the show, Aaron.
Behind the scenes. I'm gonna get behind the scenes.
Aaron,
before every show, we sit here and we got a document. We got a Google Doc, and I read through the Google Doc of what our topics are going to be for the show. Before every show, I read through it twice. I even read the joint twice. Matt must have whispered one time. I didn't see one.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I remember he said it. You weren't listening.
Introduce the segment.
He wasn't listening to me. He wasn't listening to me. He was not listening.
I was having technical issues.
But
you know that I was in and out dealing with that.
Also, in Matt's defense, at least he said something, and maybe I didn't hear him. But Darnell hadn't seen one of the movies either, and he didn't say not a thing.
I didn't see any of the movies.
He ain't seen
Same thing with Camille.
I cop to it. I cop to it.
I said that I didn't see one of them.
Yeah, after I already introduced it to the audience, you didn't say nothing.
Beforehand, I did.
Aaron, I need you to take a couple deep breaths and count to 10 because you're a little bit too angry.
He's about to cuss us out.
A little bit too angry. I'm gonna call the cops on you, like I'm a middle-aged white woman named Karen.
Oh.
So you better calm down, calm all the way down.
At least for real.
I cop to it. I said it.
I feel scared.
You wouldn't remove Eli?
Primary, you can't vote in November?
No, that's not a rule.
Yeah, that's not a rule. You just don't register to vote in November. Register in November.
Don't register to vote. I mean, you should have voted in the primary, but listen.
And no, we didn't see fences, Jasmine. We didn't see fences, okay? We didn't see it. I ain't see it.
It's on Hulu.
He should have gotten an award for fences.
Don't join in on him. Come on.
It's on Hulu.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen it.
So wait, let me all watch straight. Matt, you didn't see
Book of Eli.
Darnell didn't see
a lot of other
John Q and Eli or John Q and Training Day?
John Q and Training Day.
You only see John Q and Training Day. Okay. And Camille didn't see what?
John Q.
It must be too much violence. You know how my family was growing up. I couldn't even watch Harry Potter.
You couldn't even watch Harry Potter? That's funny. That's the most sage thing I've ever heard.
Training Day is a hood classic.
I couldn't watch those either.
You see Boys
I still haven't watched Don't Be a Menace yet. I still need to watch that.
Have you seen Boys in the Hood?
Have you seen Set It Off?
I have seen Set It Off.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood, probably not. I have seen Baby Boy.
This will be the last episode of the Lab Podcast. I don't know. I'll let you know. It might just be them three without me. I don't really know.
Aaron, stop being like that. Stop being like that.
Calm down, Aaron. Take a couple deep breaths. Take a breathe. Come on, be mindful. Be mindful. That's what they say.
What you say? Go ahead. For what?
Go ahead. Your little thought.
My little thought. Okay. I don't know. Everybody have a good week.
Yo, what?
Thank you, Galen. Thank you.
Best friend too. Hey, Galen.
Please tell Aaron to stop treating
your
us
baby's
like
adorable. She's so stinking cute.
Please tell Aaron to stop treating us like that.
I'm gonna out of here. All three of y'all is trash. Galen is trash. If you have,
why we gotta be all that?
These are iconic. These are great movies. John Q is great. Book of Eli is great.
You just said John Q was terrible. I
didn't like it, but I know it's great. I did personally not like it. No, does it have rewatchability to me? No, because there ain't no action in it. It's a lot of talking. It's slow, whatever. And you need to watch it because Denzel put on an immaculate performance in that movie, and y'all ain't seen it.
Ciao. I've seen John Q. I said I haven't seen the Book of Eli.
Another amazing movie.
Then can we pick different movies next week for Denzel?
Yeah, we'll have to. And I'm
a Viola Davis movie.
No, all right. Y'all say bye because I'm saying goodbye. Bye, people. Sorry,
bye, everybody.
10 minutes.
Still love you.
I really thought everybody had did this.
Have a nice day. Bye.